Time for a little life update. Some gum chewing and sounds. So maybe a few little life updates and one big one. I just got done eating a salad. Alright. Where do I start? Well, for one, my background is different. It's driving me crazy. Like the view, I film on my iPad. And it does not matter how many times I adjust that thing, it will look fine in what I'm seeing. And then when I play it back, it's like a little off. And I'm like, you know what? We're just getting rid of the dark background. I kind of like it like this anyways, like a soft gray, right? It's still pretty calming, right? So that's where we are with that. Also, but wait, there's more. We got a fish. We started out with a fish. A betta. Named Peanut. And we just had him in like a big fish bowl. Because you can do that with bettas. You can have them in just a fish bowl with no filter. But you always feel bad, right? So we're like, okay, in a few weeks we're going to get him a tank with a filter. My brother had a 5-gallon tank. So we got the 5-gallon tank, the filter, and we put the rocks in. We put Peanut. My toddler says it like this, pie nut. So we put pie nut in the 5-gallon tank, and we got a snail. I'm not the only addict in this house, okay? Because it's escalated pretty quickly. They now have a 20-gallon tank. No more fishbowl, no more 5-gallon tank. Now they have a 20-gallon tank. Luckily, I have a pretty big kitchen, so I have one counter that used to be my coffee counter. But y'all know that I had to give up coffee because it was giving me vertigo. So I was like, okay, I guess you guys can have the coffee counter. So now we have 11 fish. Well, no. We have 8 fish and 3 snails. And I will do a video on all of their names, but Peanut was our first. He's a blue beta. So that has been pretty interesting. It's been the focus of the home. Got lipstick all over my straw. So there's that. It's also back to school season, which means I have to do a lot. Well, not a lot, because my teenager is the only one that's in school. My 2 older ones are done with school. Teenager, and then obviously my toddler's not in school yet. So we have to do some running around for her, like all these registrations and supplies. It's not overwhelming. The fact that I used to do it by myself for 3 kids is crazy. I can't believe it. I can't believe. No wonder it's like all a blur. So it's also time for me to start car shopping. I don't like anything about car shopping. I'm not that into cars. Sometimes people say, if you won $1 million, what kind of a car would you get? And I'm like, a black one that's easy to fix, like that you can take anywhere to get fixed. That's good on gas. but I didn't win $1 million, so I still want a black one. I still want it to be good on gas. The problem here is that, and I don't know how I went down this rabbit hole. Well, I do know how. I was talking about how I have really good restaurants in my town, like really good restaurants, good selection, a lot of like mom and pop, like ethnic restaurants and stuff. And I was like, it doesn't really make sense to me because when I was closer to Chicagoland, the town had the same population, right? About. And it's still all chains. There's not enough good restaurants there. I was like, how come the town I live in now has so much better restaurants than the town I used to live in when they have about the same population? And then me and my friend Mac were like, let's look at the demographics. Let's see if we can figure this out. It's not that much more ethnically diverse here. But I'm starting to think that maybe it's because there's cheaper places to put in like little smaller restaurants. And in my old town, it's all chains. Like these are all big money, stupid chains. Like I'm so sick of eating fast food and I don't know. So as I'm going down the rabbit hole, I find out like my old town has a bad reputation for like crime and violent crime and stuff. And I was like, I wonder what. Not that this is not my new town. I've been back and forth between these like areas my whole life. But I knew it was getting bad out here. I was like, I wonder what the crime rate is out here now. You know, sometimes you get numb to stuff when you live somewhere for a while. So I was like, let me figure. So I went on neighborhoodscout.com. When I tell you that even I was in shock. And why I'm telling you this is because I need to have a very safe car. We have a lot of car burglaries here. Like, it just does not make sense how many car burglaries we have here. Anyway, I looked it up. The town I live in now, on a scale of 0 being the worst cities, right? Because it's 0 to 100. It's not like rated. Every city gets a rating. You're either in the zeros, which means you are in the worst crime rated city, and the hundreds would be the best, like almost no crime, right? Look up my old town, which you hear the name of that town, I won't say it. People think, ooh, that's kind of, you know. So I'm like, it can't be worse than a town that has like a whole legacy of. Ugh. It sure was, and by a lot. So, and these are towns with very similar numbers. Old Town was rated a 30. We'll just say a little below 30 on this scale, which is pretty bad, you know. It's probably not. If you're a realtor, you probably wouldn't want to let anybody know that. So I was like, I bet this town is somewhere close to that. Maybe a little worse because it's gotten so bad. I'm not going to give you the exact number. But when I looked it up, it was below 5. And it's not that, okay, yeah, I was shocked. Like, I was shocked that it was below 5. But I'm even more shocked that we've just gotten so used to it that we had no idea that it was that bad. It's worse than Chicago. It's worse than Gary, Indiana. I didn't look up Detroit yet, but I did look up Kensington, Philadelphia. Kensington was a 9, okay? Now, if you know anything about Kensington, if you know anybody from out there, you know Kensington's doing pretty bad right now. And for us to be doing, crime-wise, for us to be doing worse crime-wise than Kensington was like, it really put things in perspective. And then it kind of breaks it down to like, well, how much of this is violent crime and how much of this is property crime, etc., etc. You know, we own a home here, which our neighborhood is really secure, and luckily for me, 2 of my neighbors, surrounding neighbors, work for security companies, so we kind of just feed off all their security, like they have everything on lock. My neighborhood's fine, but my kid goes to school here, my adult son lives out here. It's really something that I need to start thinking about. I already said, like, before my toddler turns 10, we gotta be out, because unless it starts turning around, you know. But kids do dumb stuff, and they go do dumb stuff with their friends, and it's just all too easy to get yourself into trouble when there's trouble everywhere. And even me, I'm numb to it. And I grew up in a city that was give people the ick, you know, like, I'm not going out there, oh no. So I don't know, it's just messed with my head. So there's some cars that are like, you're not supposed to have in this area. They've just advertised, like, don't, if you get this car, you have to get special things to like lock the wheels down. And I'm like, oh, I'm not doing all that. I'm not doing all that. So that has to be considered in my car buying. You know, checklist has to be something that's pretty much on lock. Even like within the last week, we've had 2 friends post that their whole windows were broke, like, to get into the car. The one was one of the brands that is pretty easy to steal, but she already had the like the recall or whatever she could have done to it, so they couldn't get it, but they broke her whole. I'm like, who has time to break a whole window to take a car? Like, you really don't care about your life at all. Okay. What else? Okay, here's the big one. You know what? Before I do the big one, I need to go back and do some light housekeeping because I forgot. If you are new here, welcome to my nonsense. Total nonsense. If you're old here, welcome back. Oh, jeez. If you're new here, please consider hitting subscribe. And if you're old here, go double check. And make sure you're subscribed. Hit the like if you like. Leave a comment. It can be anything related to the video. Or it can just be a hello. A few emojis, whatever, as long as it's cool, as long as it's friendly, as long as it's respectful. Hit the notification bell. And as always, I will link my tip jars in the description. No pressure whatsoever, but that is what allows me to continue to make content. Alright. The big life update is that we got actually married. We've been engaged for a long time. We've had our marriage license. My friend just got officiated. Okay, so my friend, this sounds so small town, right? We're not in a small town. My friend ended up being my realtor, and now she ended up being my officiator too. So when she got officiated, she had messaged me. She's like, I know you guys have your marriage license. Whenever you want to do it, just call me over and I'll do it. And our marriage license was about to expire. Like, we better hurry up. So I called my friend. I was like, yeah, it has to be like this week. So she came over. We did the damn thing. And it's done. It's done. I have to go through all this like name changing stuff, which sounds like a total headache, but everybody's been assuring me that it's not as bad as it sounds. I don't know if they're just bullshit me or what, because I don't feel like sitting at the freaking social security office. But it's done. I just did not, even that was stressful. So I'm like, how do people plan actual weddings? I'm still probably going to do just a micro reception for my family. really small, like 50 people max. 25 related, 25 not related, maybe something like that, because I do want to invite some friends. But we'll see. And a lot of my friends aren't even in this town. They would have to travel a little bit, so. But it's the invite that counts, right? Even if they can't come, that's on them. But I want to do it late fall. I want to do dark. I told my whole family I'm not a bridezilla, like, as evidenced by the fact that I already forgot what date I got married. Not what date, and this was just last week. My brother messaged, because I messaged my family on a text message. I was like, okay, we got married. And then my brother just got it. He was like, oh my god, I missed this message. And he was, congratulations, blah, blah, blah. He's like, did this just happen yesterday? Because he hadn't checked his messages. I was like, no, it happened last Wednesday. And he's like, wow, congratulations. And he's like, let me know what you're planning on doing. And I messaged him back and I go, oops, I think it was last Tuesday. I already forgot. My brain has sticky areas and really slippery areas. And heaven forbid something gets put into that slippery department. A few things that are always in the slippery. I never know what kind of phone I have. I know it's an iPhone. I don't know what iPhone it is. 12 plus, 13. I don't know. Every time I need a phone case, I have to text my husband, what kind of phone do we have? Because we have the same phone. I know there's a way to look, but that also is in the slippery area of my brain. How old I am, always in the slippery area of my brain. We were sitting, my grandma turned 85 this year. And me and my teenager and the baby had went over there to bring her card or whatever we took over there. And we were sitting down chatting. And my grandma's like, well, how old are you now? And I was like, I look over at my teenager like, I have no idea. I was like, do you know? To my teenager. She's like, so she got out her phone and did the math and we figured it out. But it's always, I always know around my birthday, right? My birthday's in January. How are you gonna ask me in August? In August, I don't know. Ask me in January. When all my friends and like all my people from my grade and stuff are turning, and they're posting how old they're turning, and then I know how old I'm turning. So I'll put the anniversary in the calendar. But at least my husband knows that my brain's slick. That, like, his age too. Every year I'm like, how old are you turning? Like, I don't know, is this early onset? No, because I've always been like this. I have always been like this. What's in the non-sticky area of my brain? Conversations. Don't try to lie to me later, because I remember everything you said. That one, she never forgets. What else is going on in my life? I'm starting to plan for Halloween. I've already got a few costume ideas posted to I'm making like my Amazon Halloween costume ideas wish list. I probably won't say what I'm gonna be until I post pictures. Like last year, I was Wayne, and my fiance at the time was Garth. You know what's hilarious to me? I don't remember where I saw it, but this lady, every time she would introduce her husband to somebody, she would say, this is my ex-boyfriend, Mark, or whatever his name was, because technically, your husband was your boyfriend. He's not your boyfriend anymore, so he's kind of your ex-boyfriend. So I was considering, it's not gonna happen because I looked at the costumes and I didn't like them. Like, I didn't think they would work on our bodies, but the sizing was weird. Dumb and Dumber, because we just watched Dumb and Dumber like 2 nights ago, and I was like, let me look up you know, the orange and the blue. But it's like a one size fits all thing, and I don't think that would work. But we were cracking up. It was funny because my fiance had forgot almost all of Dumb and Dumber. Not me. I can still recite it practically word for word. Dumb and Dumber 2 wasn't quite as good. So I am super excited. I'm starting to put together like my fall Pinterest boards, and you know that fall is my favorite season for just making content, making ASMR, decorating my house. I just love not necessarily fall, but spooky black. Oh, I don't even know if I said this because I get so distracted and go on tangents, but my only bridezilla thing is that everyone wear all black, and I mean down to your accessories. Do not bring no color to my reception. Think funeral. So in a nutshell, those are my life updates and tangents. I know that any minute now my toddler is going to be waking up because I snuck down here to film, and that never really lasts. Although I always tell you like how crazy my toddler is, and he is. He's a nut like his mama, but he's been really good for like a week. So y'all keep your. This is his sleep. He's taken a turn for just easy couple of years. Most of my kids had a flip because all my babies and toddlers were wild AF, right? And then all of them had a flip at a certain age where they were like angels for a few years. Okay. Alright. If you are still there, thank you for